AWS console. You guys already know that how to log in. Okay, so I'm not covering that, but okay, let me do that quickly. So you can just type awsamazon.com. In the previous session, I covered that how to create AWS account, and this is the sign in button. So once you will do the sign in, you will find there are the two options. One is a root user, one the IAM user. Forget about the IAM user. I will cover it later. You need to go with the root user. Here you will put your email ID and just do the next, and yeah, put the password, sign in, and you are done. Okay, so you will see a dashboard. Got it?
Yeah.
So one important things you need to remember that there is a billing page. Okay, so it provide a lot of insights that what kind of services you already provisioned. So when I say AWS services provision means like there are the multiple AWS services. You can click here and you will come to know like these many services are there, correct? So suppose you have provisioned some services and you forgot to close it, terminate it, then it will be charged by the AWS team. Okay, however, you will be in the free tier, but it's better to check it here, that go to bills and you will come to know that okay, what is the charges, how much money you need to pay. If suppose you are thinking no, I don't want that kind of AWS service, you can go check and terminate it, like here glue or something. Okay, uh, as well as suppose you want to pay the monthly things, you can also pay from here only. Okay, if there is any bill. So I'm tapping the new service, that is the EC2, and this is nothing but I explained earlier to you that virtualization. So virtualization is the main part where like you are doing a virtualization for a bigger instance in the sense like you are having that big machine uh, where like you are having a lot of GB RAM available, lot of disk is available, and you are creating multiple virtual instances by doing the virtualization. So this is the same concept AWS and other cloud service provider uses. And here we are going to create the new instance. Okay, you will never come to know about the bigger instance. You should not worry about the bigger instance. You need to just focus on that what kind of things is required by you, and just provision it. So when I say word provision, it means uh, you are creating that part. Okay, so in cloud world we say like that provision is a word. Provisioning means you are creating the new instance, you are creating the S3 bucket, you are creating the CloudWatch stream. That is, instead of the word create, we say provisioning. Okay, any question?
No.
Okay, so let's proceed further. So what exactly I did, I just typed here EC2, and I'm able to see this EC2 service. I just clicked here, and then I'm going for instances. Okay, now you need to click on the launch instances. If there is already instances are there, it will display here in the list. I have put a filter here running. If I will just delete it, I mean to say I will clean it, it will also say like what are the stopped instances. So there are the multiple kind of the instances state like terminated, stopped, uh, running. Okay, so here you can see stop instance, star instance, reboot instance. There are the multiple things we will learn slowly. Okay, and there is a action button here, so we will come to know about this actions slowly. I'm just going. I'm just proceeding further to launch the instances. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me check. I'm in which. Okay, okay. It's fine. So now we are in this page, launch an instance, and now I'm proceeding further with the name. So name I'm just giving is session 3. Okay, here you can put any kind of name, but it will be related to your instance only. Not only the instance, it will be region specific, not like the S3 bucket. where you are not able to create any S3 bucket which is already exist in other accounts. But here in EC2 instance, you can create any kind of EC2 instance with a name uh, which is not there in your region. Okay. Now I'm proceeding further that what kind of instance you need. Okay. So here you can have the AWS instance, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, multiple kind of instances are there. Okay, Debian. So these are the operating system. So Amazon is also providing the Linux instances and having the multiple other layers. So it is useful to provision Amazon instances because already it is pre-built and configured properly. And you will also find the hybrid instances of Amazon, as well as there are the other kind of billing policies you will slowly come to know. So better to use the Amazon Linux instances. Okay. Now I am proceeding further. I am just going with the free tier eligible. So yeah, for means like training purpose you can choose the free tier only. Okay. But suppose in you are in the production or in the development, definitely at that time you need a particular Amazon instances. Okay. Anybody knows about the GPU? GPU CUDA.
no,
This is the GPU is basically graphics processing unit. So for an example, if you want to do a model training, then you need a GPU kind of instances, like you are processing the image recognizing things, or you are creating a model to find it out that okay, this is cat, dog or cat, and you are having like 10,000 images of dog and cat. So generally you need a GPU kind of instances. Right now we are not going with the GPU, we are just going with the CPU oriented, but it provides lot of other combinations like database. Suppose you want to provision a database, then definitely you need a higher IOPS. Okay. So what kind of instances is required for your purpose, then you can just check the Amazon EC2 instances. Okay. So as well as you can see the price, as well as you can check that what kind of instance required for me. Okay. So like data transfer with the same AWS reason, elastic IP address. So multiple things you will find it here in this page. Right now I will not go, slowly we will go. Okay. On this page, but just I am updating you that okay, uh, if you want to make sure that it is not costly but it is fulfilling your requirement, then it is required for you guys to understand the cost things and as well as the instance type. So for an example here, it is mentioned like that if you are provisioning A1 medium, then your hourly based rate will be this much, and it will provide you one CPU with the 2 GB RAM with the hard disk minimum, sorry, maximum 10 gigabyte. Okay. So slowly you can check that okay, no, I need more CPUs, more memory, then you can choose one of them. Okay. Like that you are having the multiple combination like T4, T3, but you will find it here like T4 large is 2, sorry, T4 medium is like 24 GB RAM, and there is a one more A1 large with the 2 and 4 GB RAM. So like what is the difference with the A1 and T4G? Okay, that decide like that okay, it is fulfilling my requirement or not. So you need to understand like AWS A1 versus T4G. Okay. So how to choose the right Amazon instance to intensify? This is the pretty good article here, and you will understand like that okay, which one instance is good for me. Okay. So you can go through with this page like general purpose, compute optimize, memory optimize, accelerator. So these are the five pillars which decide like that okay, what kind of instance I need to provision. Okay. uh, General purpose means like I am running my app or running my Python script or something like that. Okay, any kind of things is comes under the general purpose. Compute is like you are big data oriented, you need a high compute power, you will go with the compute optimized. Memory optimized, like you are doing multiple operation in the memory at that time, you will go with the memory optimized. And like that you are having a storage, you are having the accelerated. So you can go with this page and you will come to know that okay, what instance is suitable for my requirement. Okay. Right now we are just for the training purpose we are going with free tier one. and we will go with the more detail about this instance type. Okay, so let me store it down. So I am saying that I need T2 micro. So T2 micro is nothing but it will provide me one CPU with the 1 GB of RAM, which is very less, that is true, but it is sufficient uh, for our training purpose, and as well as it is also providing that how much charge it is gonna to charge you. This is like 0.0124 USD per hour. So how that cycle works, for an example, if you are running one instance for 1 minute, so how much it will charge you?
0.012 $4.
Exactly right. So if you are running your instance even for 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, it will charge you same till 1 hour. Okay, but if you are running 1 hour, 3 second, 4 second, 5 second, or 1 hour, 1 minute, it will charge you double because you are in the next hour slot. Like that, you can also provision the Windows things, but pricing is bit higher. And yes, you can do the Windows provisioning as well. You can compare the instance type by clicking here, and you can compare that, okay, what is the difference between T2 nano and uh, other instances type. So you can just scroll it here. If you think like that, okay, 1 GB is not sufficient, you can switch it from here. Okay, so uh, there is a nomenclature, but it is not to the point. So it is a bit difficult to remember. Like for C is for compute, but other like T, A, and other things is like difficult to remember. Okay, but right now just we are going with the T2 micro. I am selecting the instance type. I'm back to this page. Now here is the main part: key pair login. So how to access this instance is going to be provisioned into the cloud, but you need to access it from your laptop. Okay, so it provide a key pair kind of concept. So you need to create first the key pair. Okay, so you are creating here key pair name is like training session 3, or training session is fine. Okay, any name you can give it, and you are saying that, okay, either you can have the .pem file or .ppk file. So anything you can use it. Earlier it was like that Windows had putty which was not supporting to .pem file, but now there are the other tools are there which can support the pem file. But if you will go to the Mac OS, at that time you cannot use ppk, you need to use pem. Okay, right now I'm just going with the pem. I am in Windows, so there will not be any problem. Okay, we will use the tool which is, so I downloaded this one. Okay, and let me put into a proper folder so that we will remember it where we have kept it. Okay, uh, okay, let's check in the AWS. Okay, I'm just keeping inside that AWS directory. Now I'm proceeding further with the network setting. What exactly happen when you provision any kind of EC2 instance? This is your EC2 instance. This EC2 instance is EC2 instance will be inside a particular VPC. VPC is nothing but virtual private cloud. So I will explain more later. So this is your VPC, and inside that you can provision multiple EC2 instances. Once you have created, you can create multiple EC2 instances. Not only the EC2 instance, but many other services will come inside a particular VPC. So VPC provide you the isolation as well as the security. So for an example, I created 4 EC2 instances, okay, and I am running one application for the arg1. Arg1 means like one client one. I will just simply say that client one. Take a client anything. For an example, I am taking Flipkart helper, okay. And now I am just developing the another part which is for the means like take anything for this Tata. I will just put the Tata here, okay. Uh, so So what is happening here? The data isolation is happening. The reason is that I am in this VPC. And now I know that whatever I am doing here cannot be accessible by this guy because it is into different VPC. Okay. So till here, any question? So VPC, I'm just explaining in the means like lemon words, but it's more than that. There are a lot of things. But suppose in future you want to communicate, there are something which is called the VPC link. Okay. So yes, you can communicate, but suppose VPC link is not there, you cannot communicate. If it is required, then yes, we can do the communication. So VPC link. Okay. So whatever the services I am provisioning inside this box, it will not be visible by this guy. Okay. So Flipkart, I am developing one application I am running here. It will not be visible by this guy until you are having the VPC link. Okay.
Okay.
It's more related to that data security. It's provide the encapsulation as well as the data isolation. Data isolation means I have kept all the data here, I have kept all the data here, but this guy is not able to see this and this guy is not able to see this. But if I'm doing the VPC link for a particular service only for this particular EC2 instance, then of course I can access it. Okay. Okay. So yeah, right now you have seen that automatically it has created a VPC. If suppose you don't want, you can create your own VPC with the particular naming convention. There is a subnet policies. So we will explain subnet. I will explain subnet later. Okay. Right now, you just ignore this part. Auto assign public IP, that is the enabled. Now there is a create a security group. Okay, security group is like for an example, this again you need a isolation between this EC2 and this EC2. So you will create a security group different and this for different, so that this guy cannot communicate with this guy. If suppose you want to provide security group common for all the four EC2 instance, yes, you can use it. But if you have created security group here, so for an example, I am giving one security group a naming convention. I'm just putting security group short form is SG, and I'm saying that flip. Okay. Now this security group you cannot use it here. Why?
Um, Policy security should be unique for everyone.
Uh, yeah, more than that. Actually, this security group, okay, this security group I created inside this VPC. Okay. So, of course, in this VPC, that is the VPC 1 and this is the VPC 2. Take the VPC 1 and this is the VPC 2. VPC 2. So, once you are inside the VPC, once you are inside the VPC and whatever you are creating, like security group, like subnet, okay. So, I will just say subnet, and definitely it will not be visible to this guy because it is inside this VPC. You got my point. So this will not be uh, available or accessible inside this VPC. Okay. So you must have to create the newer one. So that is the complete security. If someone asks me like that, okay, we are in the cloud, so what is the guarantee of data security? So that services has been designed in such a way like that it provides a lot of security, but you need to understand, okay, and you need to provision in that way only. Got it? So what are the security groups? Security groups are like that, okay, which port, which IP address, inbound or outbound, I need to be accessible. So for an example, if I am having one more service running into the outer world, it is in the outer world, okay. And now I am running one application here, and this okay, let me take one person here. Okay. So for an example, this EC2 instance, we are doing data analysis. Okay, data analysis. After that, I'm just taking, give me 1 minute. Okay. So here I was trying to say like that, if suppose I'm having one database, okay, and this data, again, this database, if I am provisioning, this will be under this VPC only. So this guy cannot listen this database. Not possible. Okay, this is not possible. Why? Because it is in the different VPC. If you want to make it accessible, there are some way. Okay. Now this guy can access this database. Okay, but whatever is running here, this guy cannot access, because we have not miss like security group itself will deny it. You cannot access this report. Okay, now this report, we are just, this guy can access this report from this database. Now I am just saying that security group allow this report to this user. So I will, in the security group, I will say like that, okay, allow to show the report. So what is the security here? Security is like that, I had lot of other task which is doing the data analysis, and the final outcome I send to this database, and this EC2 instance is knowing only the final outcome of this EC2, and this report must be accessible for that user. So now whatever the task is being happen, it is not exposed to the outer world. Only the report is exposed to the outer world. Okay, how to control that one? That is controlled by the security group only. We will learn about inbound and outbound security group. So when we are learning about the security group, there are the only few things which you need to remember. Security group. Okay. So security group is inbound and outbound. Anybody knows about the inbound and outbound?
No.
Okay, no problem. So I will explain you about the outbound and inbound. Okay, but before that, you need to learn about port and IP address, which are required to make a proper security group. Okay, okay. Uh, it's better to remove the arrow pointer, otherwise it will create confusion. So right now you just learn that security group having the two parts, inbound and outbound. Okay, and each inbound and outbound having only the configuration of IP address and port. Okay, IP address and port. The same thing here. So finally, I will just say like that, or I can just keep it here. That is easy. Okay. So in both inbound and outbound, you are having only the configuration of IP address and port. Okay. What are the inbound and outbound? We will learn in few minutes in the EC2 instance creation part. Okay. Now there is a part allow SS traffic from ignore it. Okay. I will explain it later. And okay, configuration is to the root per volume. So here you can increase or you can decrease the storage. Like you need 100 GB disk space, yeah, you can put the 100 GB. If you want to put 8, you can put the 8 GB. Okay. So it is mentioned here free tier eligible can up to 30 GB. You cannot go for 100. If you will go for 100, it will charge you, but it will not stop you to creating the instance. Okay. Got it. Uh, Number of instance, how many you need, you can provide it here. Accordingly it will create. Okay, so this instance I am just launching, and this instance is on demand type. On demand type means, can someone explain me on demand?
Whenever required.
When we are
Yes,
open.
exactly right. So I just click that create this instance, and you can see the launch log that is successful. Now I'm just clicking view all the instances. Right now You are not able to see any instance, but in few minutes, if you will refresh, you are finding that T2 macro has been means like provision, means like it is in the state of provisioning, and it is saying initializing. So you need to wait for a few more minutes. Okay, you can, yeah, click on the refresh. Okay, still it is the initializing. Now you will see that this has been provisioned into the AP South one, that is my Mumbai region. Now I am changing the region to North Virginia. So when I am going into the North Virginia, what you are finding, there are the no instance. Correct. Correct. Because I provision that instance into the Mumbai region. So that is the reason it is not available in other region. Okay. Got it? Now, if I am going back again to the AP South one, which is my Mumbai region, I will be able to see this EC2 instance. Okay. And it is still into the initialization. Now, if I am just clicking on this instance type, I am finding the multiple things. Okay. What are the multiple things? Security, networking, storage, status checks, monitoring, tags. Tags are nothing but you can put multiple tag here. Like I put the name. Name is the session 3. Like that you can, any kind of tags you can put. It is not mandatory to use the inbuilt tag. You can create your own tag. You can create your own uh, key name. Okay. For an example, I am just creating the tag purpose. Okay. So it will allow me to create that kind of key name. Purpose, I'm saying the training purpose. Okay. I will just save it. You will find that the tag has been created. But tag is like most powerful things. The reason is that you can do multiple tasks by using the tag only. Okay. Now, if I'm just going with, okay, give me 1 minute. Yeah. Meanwhile, any question?
I just want to go for the tags. You were saying they are more important. How?
Yeah. So mainly what happened like that, if suppose you are having 100 instances created dynamically by the script, and now you want to do such operation like monitoring, for an example, checking the cost of which instances cost is more, or you want to terminate all the instance which having the tag purpose is equals to training, or you want to restart the servers which having the tag purpose is training. So such kind of operation you can do
Short
through the
text.
script. Okay.
Short listing is the task.
Yes, yes, yes.
Short listing. Okay,
Yeah.
very.
Now, if we are going with the monitoring, so monitoring is one more feature, and that provide that, okay, what is the CPU utilizations, what is the status check, multiple options you can see here, and it helps a lot to know that, okay, why your application is not performing well, because it is disk write is very high, disk read is very high, so it is not performing very well. So you will add the more disk, you will increase the CPU, or you will choose the different kind of instance. So for the debugging purpose, it is required for you to go here in the monitoring. It helps a lot during the debugging time. Now status check is nothing but it is same like that whatever you are seeing here. Okay. And this is the storage. So root device is xvda, that is the same. Root volume is ebs is nothing but a elastic block storage. And in the previous session we covered about the storage type. One was like EFS, one was S3, and one more is the EBS. So S3 storage type, where we uh, treat kind of a folder structure view, and we use in that way only. Okay. Now there is a one more EFS which we will learn later. That is called the Elastic File System. And okay, right now we can learn that is a good time. So suppose You want to suppose you have provisioned the elastic file system like 200 GB for an example, or anything. It is dynamic, so okay, no need to worry. So this all EC2 instance can utilize a single mount point that is called the elastic file system. So that is the basic requirements when like you are having the multiple EC2 instance, but they want to share the same mount point. So EFS is being used extensively. Now we will talk about the EFS. So all EBS is nothing but your hard disk. Okay, your computer having hard disk. Okay, so all EC2 instances comes with EBS. So it will come with EBS. Correct. It will come with EBS. So all instances will come with EBS only. Okay. If suppose your laptop does not have storage, then there is no use. Correct. Correct. Got it. So ABS is nothing but the storage. Like you say, my laptop having 500 GB storage. Correct. So now your EC2 instance is having EBS, that is called the storage. Right now we provision with the 8 GB disk space. Okay. So here you can see that 8 GB RAM has been 8 GB disk space is there with this instance type. Got it. It is a test. Yes, you can increase it if it is required. Any other question or any question? Hello.
No, no.
Okay. So here you can see there is a public IP. So now AWS is saying that yes, you can access my EC2 instance, which is like virtual instance, by using this IP address. Okay. Right now you can just ignore the private IP. We will discuss it later. VPC ID is the same which I explained earlier. This is the VPC, VPC1, VPC2. So here you are having the VPC. Okay. So by clicking here, you can copy the VPC, anything you can copy. Okay. So yeah, I will just put it here that our VPC name is this one. Okay. So yeah, VPC1 is this one. Apart from this, anything is interesting. Okay, availability zone is the same like in which region it is available. Security, we will read about this one. So security is nothing but a main is like security group. Here I am role. I will explain later. Security group. So let me open it into the different tab, and we will go inside that to understand. So now you can see inbound rules and outbound rules. So we will go to the next diagram here. So inbound and outbound. So inbound is saying that okay, something is running. Something is running. Sorry, let me take a EC2 instance here. Not here. Here. Okay. Something is running in this EC2 instance in port like 80 or something. Okay. So if outer world wants to access, okay, if any service is running, if any service is running inside EC2 instance, I want to access it. Okay, so that is called inbound. Okay, so you are accessing this one. So let me change the arrow direction. I will go like that. So this guy, one second. Okay, so this guy wants to access EC2 instances service which is running in particular port. Okay, but here this EC2 instance, so this is called the inbound. Why it is called the inbound? I will discuss it later. Okay, but suppose this EC2 instance want to access the outer world. Outer world means like suppose you are running. If suppose you are want to access the gmail.com Google. Okay, Google or Wikipedia, for an example, Wikipedia. This EC2 instance wants some content from the Wikipedia, then it will become a outbound. Okay,
So Wikipedia means some application
exactly right.
ties to EC2 instance.
Yeah, any kind of application which is running from the outside, you want to access it. So here I will go outbound rules. So I can put anything which is running the outside I can access. So it means like anything. But in real scenario, when you run in the production, we restrict it. Right now it can access anything from the outside, anything. But in production, generally we don't do. We restrict it that okay, few specific things you can access only. Okay, at that time you can mention the IP address type and port and other things. Okay, so outbound rules is not much useful right now for you guys. Mainly is the inbound rules. Right now I am saying that yes, SSH service is running in port number 22 and I want to access it. 4 times 0 means anyone can access, even you can access right now. Okay, so I provision this instance, but if you know the IP address of my instance, you can access it. Okay, now let us see how to access it. So generally I use mob term. Okay, this is the MobiX term, which is very good tool because you can do the SSH, you can do the SFTP as well. Okay, so right now I am just going here. I am creating the new session, SSH, and remote host. What is my remote host? I will just go here. I will go here in the details and I will copy the public IP. I can access from the public IP. Okay. Uh, yeah. So any instance which is being provisioned by using the Amazon AMI, you need to use EC2 user. So this will become your user. Okay. Now what you need a private key. So you will go here, you will import the private key, and we kept it inside the C drive AWS. Okay, and I'm just importing it. Apart from that, you no need to do any configuration. That is done. You just click on the OK. Sorry. Yes. So you have logged into your server. So what exactly I did? I just created a EC2 instance, and now I am accessing from my Windows laptop by using the key, and the key was PEM file. Okay, and it was required for me to know that what is the public IP of this one. So if you guys having this public IP right now, you can access it, but you need this PEM file. Correct. Without PEM file you cannot access it. Okay, now if suppose I'm going here, and this is the inbound rule. Okay, and I'm going to delete the inbound rule. Okay, so I'm saying that delete it. I don't want my EC2 instance being accessed from the outer world. Now what will happen? So let me close the existing terminal, and now again. Okay, let me close this one as well, the rest will create the confusion. Okay, now I'm just clicking again and trying to access it. So what is happening? It is not allowing me to access it because there is no 22 port is in the inbound security rules. Okay, got it? Means you can secure your instance in the multiple ways. So it is saying that timeout, you cannot access this instance. Now if suppose again I am adding the inbound rules, so I will go here, edit inbound rules, add rules. I will go with the SSH. Okay, and yeah, I will go with the anywhere concept. Sources anywhere means like anybody can access. Save rules. Okay, now again I will try to access it. So I'm able to access. Correct. So that is the power of inbound. That is the power of security rules, security group basically. Okay, and this is the inbound rule. And with the help of inbound rules, you can restrict what kind of services you want to expose to the outer world. So if you are going in this diagram, so I'm saying that okay, you can access only the SSH part here. Okay, not apart from that, nothing you can access. So even the other services you are running, you will not be able to access. uh, okay, so first thing is like that you need to update your instance. It is not mandatory, but yes, you can do that. Okay, it will take few minutes or seconds. Okay, let it happen like that. Now what you can do, you can just install any kind of server here and any kind of UI here, and it will be accessible to the outer world. You got it? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is your machine. It's like it's running, and you are able to access because you are having the PEM file. No one else can access because PEM file is only with you. And even though suppose PEM file has been shared with someone and you want to restrict, you can just go here into the inbound rules, and instead of 000, you will just select that only my IP address. So you can go here and you can type what is my IP address, what is my IP. So this is okay. This is going with IPv4 we need basically. Okay. So this is your IP. You will configure there in inbound rules. So only in that condition, only you will be able to access. No one else can be accessed, even though they are having a PEM file. Okay. So that is the beauty of inbound rule. That is the beauty of security groups. Of course, it means like you can do it in the EC2. Means like you are having a Linux machine. You can do it in the Linux machine by using the IP tables. So that is called the IP tables. So yeah, this is the IP tables. You must read about the IP tables, how it works. So here you can define the inbound, outbound, everything. But in EC2, in that cloud, you are having the UI interface, which is like very matured one. So it's better to do it from here. Okay. Uh, is there any question?
No.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Now we will learn about the AWS config. CLI. This is the very much mature and strong tool and commonly used, that AWS configuration. Okay, so you need to read about this page like what is the CLI. We will also cover in this training session what is the configuration basics. Okay, so here it needs the access key ID, secret access key ID, AWS region, output format. Okay. Only four things are required. If suppose you are able to configure in this machine, you can access the other services as well of your AWS account. How? Let me explain it. Okay. So first I will go with the IAM. I'm saying that add user. So just I'm saying that S3 CLI. Okay. So yes, I want to access it programmatic. So there are the two kind of IAM. One is like that. Okay, uh, do you want to create a new user who can access this console? So you can also create it from here. But right now I'm saying that okay, no, no, no. I just need the access key ID and secret key access ID. That's all. I don't want anything more than that. Okay. So yeah, it's fine. Now I will just boundary create a user without use permission boundary to control the maximum user permission. and I'm just selecting here S3 full access, Amazon S3 full access. I'm just using name S3 access user. Okay. Next preview, the user has no permission. So what is happening here? I'm saying that you have not given the user any permission. This means the user has no access to any AWS service or resource. Consider returning to the previous step and additional some permission. So we will go with uh, I set the permission boundary, but no permission. So let me go back here. Give me 1 minute. Use permission boundary to control the maximum. Select create policy. I'm just creating one policy quickly. Choose a service. So here I am taking the S3 complete permission. Otherwise, I can use the full access as well. Okay. Inbuilt policies I can also use. Okay. So inbuilt policies I am setting. Give me 1 minute. Okay. We will go with the this concept only. Now you can see that there is a user S3 CLI. Access key ID is this one. I will copy access key ID and I will copy the secret access. Okay. So one thing remember that once I am going with the close, I cannot again copy this one. So it's better to download this CSV and keep it with you. Okay. If I'm opening this Excel sheet, okay, leave it. Already we have copied this part. Okay. Now I'm going here. AWS config. AWS config. Okay, sorry. It's my bad. There is some typo. Con. It is asking that what is the key ID. I'm taking this one. Now it is asking about secret access default region name. So what is the default region name? I will go with Mumbai, which is AP South one. Okay, it is AP South one. Okay, and this one I'm just keeping as JSON. Okay, now. So here you can see that I was trying to access uh, list bucket and I have given the full access to this user that okay so what exactly I'm trying to do here, I'm trying means like I have created one EC2 instance and with the help of this EC2 instance I want to access the data which is there in my uh, S3 bucket. So this is my S3 bucket and these are the multiple buckets I have already created earlier. So I want to access this bucket from here so that if any kind of application I am running here, I would be able to dump some data in this bucket or I should be able to fetch the data from this S3 bucket. So all these tasks I want to do it here. But right now, you know that when I created the IAM user, so let me go here. So security group, you got it. Security group is like that in that EC2 instance, if anything is running here, you want to access, then you can control with the inbound rule and outbound rule. Okay. So let me take the EC2 instance here. Yeah. So this is my EC2 instance and which is associated with this particular security group. So this part is clear to you guys. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Now this EC2 instance wants to access S3 bucket. So this is being controlled by IAM policies and IAM user. So if you have not given any kind of permission to that EC2 instance, so you will not be able to do any kind of operation to access the other AWS services. Not only the S3, but there are the multiple other services which you want to access for your application. For an example, EFS, CloudWatch, Kinesis, multiple services you will be able to access, but through the IAM policies only. Okay, I just created one IAM policies, but we need to provide the permission, proper permission to access that. Uh, okay, to access the other services. Okay, so yeah, give me 1 minute. Yeah,
Can we record the
you guys. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about this part IAM policy part. So now what exactly I need, I want to utilize the S3 bucket, how to access it, how to copy the files, how to import the files, how to read the files basically. Okay, so I created one user which was not working because I set the boundaries. Now what I am doing, I am creating the user from scratch. Okay, uh, so I am going with the new user, add user, S3 CLI, access key ID, next permission, add user group, that is fine, S3. So yeah, here you need to create a group. That I have already created this group. uh, okay, it's better to start from scratch. Give me 1 minute. Suppose I can refresh it here, that will be better. Yeah, I can refresh. So let me go here. I am first, I was creating the user. At that time it asked me that what is the user group. So you need to first create the user group. I'm just going here in the user group. I'm deleting the existing one. Delete it. Create a group. S3 access. And okay, one second. Create a group. Okay, and now I'm giving the permission to this group. Okay, add permission, attach policies. Amazon access 3. Okay, uh, let me refresh this one. So yeah, it's showing this part. Let me download this one. So this is the very basic part, how to create the user, what kind of permissions I can give it to the user. So those things you will learn slowly when you are doing the practice by yourself. Okay, so here you can see that there is a permission here, that Amazon access 3. Amazon S3 full access is given already. I'm just opening that access ID and secret key. Okay, let me configure it again. AWS configure. I'm changing the access key ID to the new one, and the secret key I'm updating here. And now, yes, AP South 1. I'm in AP South 1. So you can directly enter it. Okay, JSON. Yeah, it's of course JSON. AWS S3 LS. Yes. See, okay. The request signature was clear, does not match signature approach. Okay. The signing method. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, I opened the wrong one. AP South one JSON. Now I'm saying that AWS S3 LS. Okay. Now you can see that I can explore the buckets. These are the same bucket which I have already created here. Now your EC2 instance is basically able to access other services like S3 bucket, but not other services. Only I have given permission to my I have given permission to EC2 instance that you can access only S3 bucket. Okay, so yeah, here you can see that S3 buckets are here. These all are listed here. Okay, any question?
What exactly is a bucket? How do you define it?
In the previous session I covered the bucket is nothing but your folder structure, like in your laptop you generally use my D drive or something, then inside that you keep lot of object. Just like that, these are the bucket where I'm keeping multiple files here. Anything I can just keep it here and I can access it from this bucket. Okay, any other question? I think, yeah, we are running out of the time. Yeah, you guys can ask any question.